Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Open for Business Lender Link Up. My name is Megan McCaffrey. I'm the Vice President of Communications for RCAP Solutions, and I welcome you to our first webinar with the banking community, where we've invited you to come and learn a little bit about the program and do some networking and hopefully have an enjoyable hour. So I'll just move on to the next slide. So I'll start off with just a couple of quick housekeeping tips. First of all, I do want to make sure that everyone is aware this event is being recorded. If you have any concerns with being on screen, you are free to mute your or turn off your camera and mute yourself. We will be sharing a great deal of information today, so we ask you to use the chat box if you have any questions. We do have a number of moderators that are participating, and we can answer your questions as we move along through the program. So we ask you to please stay muted so that we don't have any background noise, so that everyone will be able to hear the speakers. And like I said, if you have any questions, use the chat bar, and at the end of each segment, we will have questions and answers. Like I mentioned, we will have polls in the chat feature, so that's an option that you can use. We'll have a brief question and answer period at the end of the presentation, which we're hoping will serve as kind of a networking opportunity. If people have questions about particular clients that you might have and how they might fit into the Open for Business program, we'll do our best, but we will also handle any custom questions for afterwards. We will we'll be happy to answer any questions through email. And then lastly, I want to mention that after the event is completed, we will follow up with the recording. We will send it out to everyone who participated, as well as others that were invited and not able to attend. We will also be happy to share our slides and provide any additional information through email or phone, as we'll be providing contact information as well after the event. So with that, let's jump right into it. So as I said, I'm Megan McCaffrey, one of the moderators today. We also have Adam Droz, the marketing manager who works with me at RCAP Solutions, will also be assisting us both in the chat and will also be presenting this afternoon. And then finally, we have Jenna Day, who also works with us at RCAP Solutions. Jenna is the Director of Environmental Resources at RCAP Solutions. Now, finally, I'd like to introduce our presenters for this afternoon. We have Madison Wellman. He's the Business Opportunity Specialist for RCAP Solutions. Madison joined RCAP last year in 2021. His background includes economic development, nonprofit management, sales, research, and constituent outreach. He has experience working in the political arena, as well as small business startups, technology development, which provides him with a vast understanding of diverse business and community challenges, which makes him an ideal person to support the small business community. We also have with us this afternoon Dale Rutherford. He is the Senior Management Consultant for Communities Unlimited. Dale works at Communities Unlimited, the Southern RCAP affiliate. For the past 35 years, he's worked in all areas of industry in a variety of assignments: feasibility studies, business planning and development, technology transfer, business and financial modeling, and business turnarounds. Finally, our third presenter this afternoon is Giselle Brito, Vice President of Business Relationship, Vice President and Business Relationship Manager with Workers Credit Union. Giselle is bilingual, an empathetic person who immediately embraced the idea of helping people with their finances when she started her banking career at the age of 19 as a teller. Giselle came to Workers Credit Union in 2020 to help the newly created Small Business Relationship Team create efficient systems for assisting small business owners as they navigate the challenges posed by the pandemic and the changing economic conditions. In addition, Giselle helps foster relationships with existing members and recruits new ones through community outreach. with that, I will go to the next slide. And so I would like to also just say welcome to our panelists and thank you so much for participating with us today. With that, I'm going to go to the next slide and welcome Adam Droz, who's going to take on the next part of the presentation.
Thank you very much and welcome. Good afternoon. So RCAP Solutions' mission is to foster personal and public self-reliance and to improve the quality of life for individuals, families, and the communities in which they live. So RCAP is a member of two key networks. We are the Northeast and Caribbean affiliate of the Rural Community Assistance Partnership, RCAP for short, which provides water, wastewater, and community and economic development, technical assistance and training to many small rural communities. These services are available throughout all 6 New England states, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands. In addition to this, we also are the Housing Consumer Education Center for Worcester County and a handful of the surrounding towns. We offer housing counseling, rental assistance, we administer Section 8 vouchers, and we also have affordable apartment complexes for residents in the area. So as I mentioned on the previous slide, RCAP Solutions is the Northeast and Caribbean affiliate of RCAP. We're the purple states you see here, the light purple. And so this is the water, wastewater, economic development, and community development programs, such as the Open for Business program, which is what we're talking about today. These programs are all available nationwide, and the various organizations listed here administer them in their respective states. You'll also hear from Dale today. He is from Communities Unlimited, where you see the kind of navy blue, light blue down by Texas and Louisiana. So we thought we would start off with the poll to see who we have with us today. So there's the poll. It's just popped up on the screen. So if you want to take a few moments to answer the poll, we'll see who we have with us today. All righty, give it 10 more seconds. All right, I don't know if we can see the results of the poll now. There we go. So we have a few small business lenders, a few small business owners, and a lot of others. So next slide. So now I'll hand it off to Jenna Day, who is the Director of Environmental Resources at RCAP Solutions. So to give you a little overview of the program. So take it away.
Thanks, Adam. I just want to clarify, I'm filling in for Madison Wellman, who can't make it today. The Open for Business program is RCAP Solutions' first foray into traditional economic development work. So our goal of this program is to address the two main barriers to entrepreneurial success that we have identified. What we've seen in our region is predominantly underdeveloped entrepreneurial capacity and access to capital. So how is RCAP, the entire network, and RCAP Solutions achieving these goals? So we're providing free training and technical assistance to small business owners and aspiring entrepreneurs, and assisting those entrepreneurs in pursuing SBA or other business loan financing. We provide 3 main technical assistance and training services. So there are live interactive webinars, self-guided online workshops, and one-on-one business consulting. These services build permanent entrepreneurial capacity and assist those entrepreneurs in developing business plans and projections suitable for business loan applications. This program is grant funded, so there's no cost to the end user for a small business due to a generous donation from the Wells Fargo Corporation. And these services are provided in both English and Spanish. And so now let's talk a little bit in more depth about the services. So first off, there's a webinar program. These webinars cover a wide range of small business topics, such as accounting, bookkeeping, digital marketing, and managerial best practices. Sometimes we'll even bring in outside groups to discuss additional topics. For example, we regularly work with Wake Forest University to deliver interactive lectures on business law. These Open for Business program webinars are offered on a regular weekly basis. They're fully interactive, meaning attendees can ask questions of the presenter in real time during the lecture. Think of this as a junior college experience delivered remotely and free of cost to any entrepreneur. We're pleased to offer custom networking events for your organization through this webinar program as well, either remote or in person, with a live educational component for your internal networking event. So please let us know if you'd like to plan an event. Next slide, Megan. Thanks. So the online workshops are available 24/7 and provide a convenient go at your own pace format, making it perfect for the busy entrepreneur who already has a full-time job or other, family and other responsibilities. So this content is built off the webinar content, so a client can sit for a virtual lecture and then use the online workshop system to put into practice those same skills that they just learned in the webinar. These online workshops are self-assessment focused, so the clients can be sure that they're retaining the information. So you're giving like a question and answer. This is particularly helpful for those hard business skills such as accounting. Next slide. The final component of the Open for Business program is the one-on-one consulting services. Our team of qualified consultants will work with your small business clients to develop their entrepreneurial skills, create airtight business plans, and well-funded projections. Sorry, well-founded projections. Funding comes later. All of our consultants have MBAs, almost all are CPAs. Our service provides consultant hours covering any topic the client needs. We can assist entrepreneurs at any stage of business development, from ideation to exit planning. So our team is particularly well suited to assisting entrepreneurs with producing the plans and projections necessary for SBA small business loans. And Dale Rutherford will talk about that in a moment. We have a second poll for you, your cup of tea. So we're interested in learning of what we discussed today, what is of most interest to you and or your clients. Webinars, online workshops, the one-on-one consulting, or all the above. And Adam and Megan, I can't see the results, so you'll need to let us know, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I can see them. We have
okay.
the majority is all of the above. A few are one-on-one consulting and a few live webinars.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
So what do you do next? So any clients interested in receiving this free, small business services should reach out to Madison Wellman. He's our business opportunity specialist at RCAP Solutions. Madison can make sure you or your client is registered and onboarded into the program and accessing resources in a timely fashion. There's a link for the Open to Business Hub. If you Google RCAP Solutions Open for Business Hub, you can find this link and access. And so this gives you direct access to the RCAP national page with all the resources. Now I'm going to turn it over to Dale Rutherford from sister agency Communities Unlimited. And Dale will fill us in on how consulting programs assist small businesses in accessing bank loans through a process we call capital readiness.
Thank you, Jenna, Megan, and Adam, and pass along my thanks to Madison for inviting me to attend and help with this presentation. One of the things that I was asked to share from a consulting side is when we're working with clients, what seem to be some of the most critical aspects that have an influence on the business owner's ability to acquire capital, lending capital, that is. And when you look at it, everybody, these businesses understand, yeah, I got to borrow money and yeah, I got to have a business plan, some financials, but the process goes deeper than that. And one of the things we find most common among small businesses is the lack of understanding of what the lender perceives as risk and what the lender is looking for when they're reviewing the business plan and financial projections. When we work with clients in terms of capital readiness, not only do we work with them on the business plan financials and other aspects of business, but we start coaching them through these elements. And particularly lenders in the lending community, they deal with the 5 C's of credit, which are going to deal with the conditions, the capacity, capital, collateral, and character. And in your business plan and your financial projections, they have to encompass those. And these are all perceived as risk. One of the things is from a character standpoint, the lender is going to look at that individual's credit history, look at your credit score, and how consistent have you been in terms of paying the bills. What you do in your personal life generally is mirrored in your business life. So when they're asking you for your personal financials as well as business, that has two aspects. Number one, they're looking at the character. Then they're looking at the capacity, your ability to repay the loans. One of the things that we run into, the business owner says, well, I want the loan for my business. I don't want to deal with my personal. Well, small businesses, that's rarely possible. They're usually one and the same, because if the business fails, then the owner has to stand behind the loan. And then that's when they look at your collateral, what you have to support the business in case you do default, and what your capacity to cover those loans. Now, your capital and collateral are going to be dealt with in your business plan and your financial projections. And then your character, you'll have to address in your business plan, because you're going to put in a managerial section, but then you have to submit your credit reports. The conditions typically are going to relate to your business model. So all this ties together in the business plan and financial projections, which brings us to the next part. And if you have questions, by the way, put them in the chat and somebody will flag me. I have a bad habit not looking at the chat window. The next one is when you're putting in your business plan and putting in a loan package to the lender, you need to be clear about the source and the use of the dollars. So if you're going to borrow, $50,000, $100,000, whatever the case may be, what are you going to use that money for? I can't tell you the number of clients that we dealt with that said, well, I want to borrow $50,000. Well, what are you going to use that for? Well, I need to start a business. Okay, but what are you going to use the money for? How is that going to help you start this business? And they really don't have a clear idea. And we usually find one or two situations. Number one, they usually are not requesting enough of a loan to support the business. and they end up running out of dollars before they ever get the business open, or they end up trying to request way too much money. And if they get that money, now they're carrying a debt that the business is going to have a hard time supporting. So it's very important that the amount of money that you're borrowing and what that money is being used for is delineated in the business plan. The other thing is, from a lender's perspective, what they typically want to see, are you leveraging those dollars? Are you taking those dollars and using them wisely to make sure that you're supporting the growth and scalability of the business? So all this rolls back to the financials projections in your business plan. You have to be clear. The third part is to validate the business plan and financial forecast with reliable data and cite your data sources. When you're going either to a bank to borrow money or trying to get partners or investors invest in business, they look at the risk, and they don't want somebody that's just, well, I think about this, and well, maybe this, maybe that. They want to see that you've done your homework and that you've captured this information and you've got it well thought out, and you've removed as much of guesswork as possible through this process. And that's where you see the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy. Quite often, the business owners, and Gazelle can step in here and add some comments. But a lot of the business plans look so lofty and out of reality, it's almost like it's in the world and the realm of the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy, because they have very little association with reality. So you've got to do your homework. And if you want to be successful in business, you've got to put in the elbow grease, and there's enough risk inherent with operating business without going out here and stepping into it blind. So these are the three most common areas that we have to work with clients to get them what we call capital readiness, capital ready, to get ready to go to the bank. And I think Giselle can attest to this. We've worked with the Workers Credit Union with a couple of clients, and hopefully they notice a difference when the first time they deal with the clients versus when they come back after working with us. Giselle, you got any comments on this?
Yes, absolutely, Dale. I'll definitely speak this further on the next coming slides, but you're right on, Dale. It's very important, especially understanding the 5 C's of credit and understanding, on the lender's perspective, what we look for a business. So I'll definitely dig deep on the details on that on the next upcoming slides. Thank you. And here is introduction of Workers Credit Union. And this is really a great success story that involves a small business owner that we helped during the pandemic. And as you all know, COVID-19 affected a lot of small businesses that needed access to funding quickly. And, working with the SBA, working with their PPP loan program, this is a great example of a success story from Workers Credit Union.
My name is Andrew McElroy. My family owns the Groton Station House restaurant, and we're members of Workers Credit Union. We started with the idea that we would find some way to revitalize this area, and we thought, what better way than a great restaurant? We wanted to find a bank really to partner with as we would grow and as we would mature and as we had more needs. And so we wanted someone who could grow with us and meet those needs, and that we could have a really strong relationship with. There were other people who worked with Workers Credit Union from our community as well. And those were other business leaders that we respected and that we worked with. That's why we chose Workers Credit Union. The business team is great because you can pick up the phone, you can call them, and they get back to you. You have questions about things, they're very responsive to those questions, and they really guide you through the process. We opened our doors in June 2019. We were open about 9 months, and that's when the pandemic hit. Workers Credit Union really helped our business during PPP. People were so responsive. They had answers for us, or they had pre-built forms and say, this is the information. If you provide this, then we can guide you through this process. Those are all things that were extremely helpful for us. There's so many things we don't know. Our focus was on the restaurant and doing what we needed to do here. And so when workers could step in and explain certain things, that was a great weight off of us. Now we're here on the other side of this experience, looking back on it, and it was quite a ride. I'm Andrew McElroy. My family owns a Groton Station House restaurant, and we're building our business the workers' way.
So if anyone, wants to go to the Groton Station House, it's located right in Groton, Mass, right off the main street. Great restaurant, great food. One of our wonderful, clients that was agreed to do a testimonial video with Workers Credit Union, and any of our business members can do a testimonial video, which is great for them as well to show their business. And we do videos at their place of business. We have another one coming up. But everything that Andrew said hit spot on. You really need to have a team to support you, especially, in difficult times that can happen. We work with members, that they, in their business plan, they really have to have a strategy in place for a change in the economy. That's part of the condition that, Dale was referring to. We look not just the company itself, but we look at the economy around them, what's happening in their industry. Have they done their industry research currently for where they currently live? If it's in Leominster, Fitchburg, Worcester, look at Worcester, up and coming town. Talk about Worcester growing and having a powerful impact. And a lot of small businesses are opening in the Worcester area, as long as with West Boylston, Shrewsbury. There's a lot of businesses popping up in small areas like in Orange and Athol, but you hear more in the cities. And depending on the industry that you choose, construction, contracting, you see a lot of those in the Gardner, Athol, rural areas. But if you come closer to the city, you're looking at different industries that are making an incredible impact, such as restaurants. Restaurants are reopening now because of COVID-19. Depending on, where you are in the city or in the town, we want to make sure that business owners that we lend to understands the inside and out of their industry and how will they recover from the impact of COVID-19, or if we have another shutdown, what's their emergency plan? And another factor of condition is the changing rate environment. When we're doing calculations of a business owner's debt to income ratio as well, we look at the rates. If the rates go up another 50 basis points or more, when we reset their years every 5 years for most of our commercial lending products, will they be able to afford the principal and interest on that loan as they do their financial projections of what's going to be incoming to their business. So we do take a deep dive at the character of a business. So if we can go to the next slide, a lot of SBA, especially SBA, does a full background check on the owner. So we're talking about the character of the business. We're seeing how many years have they been in business within their industry. We look at their resume. We look at their management team. Have they put up a management team? Or if you're a sole proprietor, you're a one-man show or one-woman show. There's a lot of information that we need to know on their knowledge of the industry. And it has to be written down in their business plan of their success of, working on prior roles. CPA bookkeeper, does this business owner has a team of experts around them to support their business? Do they have a bookkeeper? Are they working with a tax accountant who's guiding them through the entity and the tax payment structure of their business? Successor of a business should also be pointed out in a business plan. If something happens to the owner, who's going to take over? So that's a big thing of, life insurance as well. And a lot of the SBA startup funds, they ask for every owner to take on life insurance as collateral if something happens to you and there's no succession plan. They will add the lender as payable as a collateral assignment to the life insurance. Another factor of character is their payment history. Credit history is huge. If you have more than 3 or 4 sick delinquencies on any of your auto loans, credit cards, that could be a big factor of declining a startup loan. You have to have a very clean credit history. If there are any issues or claims that you've cleared up, as long as you keep documentation and provide a story of any open claims that you're working on, credit unions will work with you, depending on where you are with your credit history. If there's a lot of issues there, that's, within the last 12 months, maybe wait a little longer to have a clean 1 year, clear history of any late payments or derogatory items on your credit report. So if we go to, I just wanted to quickly just go over in depth the 5 C's of credit, because it's very important to understand the capacity that a business owner can pay back the loan. So when we're looking at SBA Lending Solutions, these are some of the terms, as you can see on the screen, and a lot of the startup costs can include equipment, supplies, furniture, renovations, buying a business. If you're looking to purchase a business, you're going to have to make sure the seller is okay to provide 3 years of their tax returns, because if you're buying another business, we need to look at their performance on how well they did the last 3 years and during the pandemic. And a lot of the approval is based off the financial strength of that company you're looking to purchase. So when I'm working with buyers, they don't know the level of documentation we need from the seller if you're looking to buy a business. So that's very important if you're looking to buy a business, that they have great financial strength, and you're having a CPA or an accountant and legal review as well. You'll need an attorney to review all the documents on the purchase and sales agreement and make sure that the business worth is something that matches the sales price. And if we go on to the next slide, these are just some other types of SBA lending solutions. If you're looking to buy the property of the building and the business, there's a program that's a 504 loan program. They have fantastic rates. The SBA really helps credit unions and other financial institutions team up with the CDC if it's a very difficult lending solution or structure. Microloan programs is also available to all small businesses. And what's really great is it's up to 6 years. It's fixed payments for 6 years, low interest rates. Usually it's prime plus 2%, prime plus up to 3%. So right now at the Wall Street Journal prime rate is 3.5. You're looking at about 6% interest rate on microloan programs, 6 to 7%. And again, you can use this for startup costs such as working capital, furniture, supplies, equipment, any startup costs you need to start running your business. That's going to be less than $50,000 is great, because some of the loans for SBA doesn't require collateral over $25,000. So if you're looking for anything under $25,000, no collateral is needed. It can be actually an unsecured startup loan. No one's favorite topic, documentation. I wanted to show a visual of the amount of paperwork it'll take to draft up a business plan, financial projections. This is just one part of my list. The next 4 slides are a list of information we would need. This one is especially an example of purchasing a commercial property. So copies of all lease agreements, again, purchase and sales agreements. Rent roll is a very important documentation that explains all the tenants within the unit and how much each tenant is paying for monthly rent. It also breaks down total income for each property and all the expenses, as well as, if you're looking to do construction or leasehold improvements within the construction site, you'll need to be working with an engineer along with getting town approvals to conduct all the construction that needs to be done in a building. So it's not only the construction plans and the cost, but it's also, you'll need to get certifications from the town you're going to be working with, to get all your license certifications to do the building and get approval, especially if you're looking to purchase a property that you're looking to go from residential zone to a commercial zone. It's a very long approval process from the town that you're working with. And if we skip to the next couple of slides here, the biggest things, actually, can you go to the next slide, please? We talked about that. Perfect. The biggest things that if you're looking to purchase a business within the property as well, both properties, an example would be 3 years of business tax returns for any affiliated company that's involved in the transaction. For startup companies, we do need 3 years of personal tax returns for every owner of 20% or more. That's non-negotiable. Get a lot of questions about, adding their wives. So if you are married and your wife or your spouse is not involved in the business, we will still need them to sign a personal financial statement, just to the SBA likes to make sure we're checking also there's no other assets hidden within your spouse. That's pretty much the reason why. And if we go to the next slide, please. This is what is required to apply as a startup company. So, not just the 3 years tax returns, but we need the full management resume of everyone that's going to be involved running the business. There are background checks questions on the SBA forms, especially if in the past life you've been arrested, or if there's been any misdemeanors, or any issues with claims. There's a separate form that needs to be filled out. You need to disclose and provide an example. And along with the SBA 1919 form, it's right on the SBA.gov website as well, but it's a pretty much a 13-page document on the application to really break down what the cost of the loan is going to be and what the sources and uses of the loan. So on the business plan and on the financial projections, when you're working with an SBA underwriter, they're going to make sure that on your financial projections and everything you put down for project costs makes sense for the amount of loan you're asking for. And anything worth over $5,000, there's a separate form called the SBA 159 form where you have to put all the details of all the assets that you purchase over $5,000. So it's a schedule of collateral. And that includes putting the VIN number, steel number, as you can see here, all the information on any equipment worth over $5,000. And if we could go on the next slide. Thank you. So I talked a lot about documentation, and it does seem overwhelming. It does seem it's a lot of work. And it is. It requires a lot of homework, a lot of research, and building your team of experts. And when I think about my team of experts, I love working with RCAP Solutions. They've helped a lot of my small business members, and Dale helped one of my members, a physical therapy company. He came to me in November of 2021, and he had an idea of a business plan, and he had a simple breakdown of what he think everything's going to cost, but he didn't really have a full grasp of, setting up a 2-year financial projections broken down month to month for the next 2 years broken down for 2023 and 2024. So he had a hard time, getting all the documents ready for him to borrow $120,000. And Dale really, took the lead on this and really helped my business member. And, because of RCAP Solutions and the resource that they offer and helped my member, we were able to complete his application. And he recently got approved last week. So he's very excited. His physical therapy practice is going to be opening up probably beginning of July once he get his Medicare insurances and payment streams approved as well. So, this is what it's all about. It's all about, reaching out to your network and, really making sure you have a team of experts with you in order to have success in your business. And such as score.org, Chamber of Commerce events, Center of Women Enterprises, and joining a BNI group that, really help small businesses. And, these chamber events and SCORE, they're there as an added support at no cost. And, to make sure you're leveraging and knowing your industry and being experts in it, and also knowing the community around you. It's all about who you know, really. It can open the door to your business and many opportunities and referral opportunities to other business owners in the community. So it's really important to be involved in your community and join some of these Chamber of Commerce events within your area. And everything's listed right online with events. And if you want to become a member, just to grow your network and support your business. So that's it for me. And thank you everyone for listening and joining this presentation. And now we're going to open it for Q&A. And Megan, I'll let you take the lead on this one.
Okay, thank you very much. If anyone has any questions, you are more than welcome to turn your camera on. If you want to ask a question about a potential client that you might have that you think might benefit from the Open for Business program, if you want to put something in the chat, we'll also be checking the chat box and answering that way as well. So if anyone has any questions about the Open for Business program, now's the time. So it looks like there aren't any questions about the program. Does anybody have any comments or anything else that they want to add while people might be putting their thoughts together?
One of the things that when Gazelle was talking and we talked about risk, one of the things I stress with clients is every business has risk. And you don't do yourself any favor by trying to gloss over it or hide those risks. It's very important for lenders particularly, but it's just as important for yourself to identify what those risks are in that business and have a plan to mitigate those risks. So when you're going into this business, the bankers, there's probably not much they haven't seen. And when they're evaluating that business plan, they want to see that you recognize those risks. That's a smart business owner, that you identify those risks and you have a plan to mitigate it. Giselle?
Absolutely. Especially, every business plan I see, I evaluate, I'm like, I hope I see a COVID-19 impact summary to really address those, because, especially with a lot of banks and financial industries, they had to do a lot of deferment on payments during COVID-19 and closing your doors. So they want to see your strategy around that. And, depending on what industry, if you're a food and restaurant, do you have contactless payments? Do you, offer to view your menu online and do door-to-door delivery? Or are you one of those restaurants? A lot of restaurants closed down because they didn't change their way of their business and offer, catering or ordering, or or their prices were, sky high still, or a lot of issues with, paying online and making that order, or being part of Uber Eats, kind of adjusting to the environment. So, it definitely addressed those risks, what can happen in the future, or any other risks for your business, address those, and, come up with a great solid plan around, depending on the type of industry you're involved with.
That's great. I did get one question in the chat. It came directly to me from Maylinda. She said, "Hi, I have a potential client. I've not referred him yet. I think he needs a business plan and guidance. Can I speak to Dale directly at a later time? Thank you." Dale, do you want to speak to that?
Most certainly. If they'll get in contact with Madison, he'll get them into the system. We have a referral system where we capture that, and then we will assign a consultant, or if you want to speak with me directly, then I'll be happy to do that. I saw a hand up a second ago. If they need Madison's contact information again, if you guys don't mind sharing that. I thought I saw Lillian had a hand up.
Yes, I did. I just had a quick question. So when, I forgot who was presenting, but when you were talking about the 7A loan for the startups, you did mention that for startups specifically, the background check that the SBA does is very intensive. And I just want to know, as far as the credit history is concerned, if it's an existing business that's looking for an SBA loan, is the requirements the same, or is it going to be a little different as far as the credit is concerned, the personal credit is concerned? Is it going to focus more on the business and any debts the business has?
Anyone want to take a shot at that?
So are you asking about, did you say assisted living?
Oh, no, I said existing business. So if someone already has a business and they're not starting off a new business and they're looking for an SBA loan.
Yep, absolutely. It's for existing businesses as well. Yeah. So so SBA loans is more geared towards small businesses that only want to make a 10% down payment and all project costs. There's a lot, most of the credit unions and financial institutions require for you to be in 2 years of business before you actually apply with them as a conventional, term loan line of credit or equipment financing. But if your startup new business considered any business under 2 years, so there's no business tax returns, financial history for the last 2 years. This is an opportunity to go SBA 7A loan, or it could be for a company that wants the terms and conditions of an SBA, such as 10% down payment. Most conventional options are 20% down payment or 50% on used equipment, 50% down payment. SBA allows you to do a 10% down payment on any project costs or purchases in real estate.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And so while we're waiting for anyone else to ask a question, I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen so that you guys can see the final slide, which has the contact information for Madison, who is our business opportunity specialist. And he would be the individual who runs the Open for Business program with RCAP Solutions here. And as I mentioned before, we will share our slides, which will have the full contact information for Madison with everyone following the event, as well as the recording. So I'm not seeing anything else in the chat, and I'm not seeing any hands, no questions. So I think at this time, I think we are all set. Thank you everyone so much for participating today. I hope that you found the information helpful and informative. And if you have any clients that you think could benefit from the Open for Business program, it's a wonderful program that has so many resources for small business owners, aspiring entrepreneurs, so many resources. So we welcome the referrals and any questions that you might have. And again, thank you so much today for participating and enjoy the rest of your afternoon.